Hey there, I'm Hannah Keats. I'm 16 years old and like most teenagers, I enjoy hanging out with my friends, talking on the telephone, and spending time with my family. I would say I'd live a pretty normal life. I'm a hard worker, a good student, a big sister, a daddy's girl, but most importantly, I'm a cancer survivor. 4 years ago, at the age of 12, in October of 1998, I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, which is a rare form of bone cancer. I went through grueling chemotherapy, radiation, and a bone marrow transplant. My life was very different 4 years ago. My journey began in October of 1998 in Gainesville, Florida at Shands Hospital. With Shands being one of the top hospitals for curing cancer in America, I was very confident in finding a cure for my cancer. After about 6 months of chemotherapy and laying in the bed for 4 days every 2 weeks, it was finally time for me to go home. Can't you tell I'm very anxious to leave? As my dad helped me into the truck, I became more and more ready to get back home to my family and not be sick anymore. It was the longest 3-hour ride I had ever taken, but we finally made it home. After staying home for 2 weeks, I got to go back on the road and go to Jacksonville, Florida to start my radiation treatments. Every morning for 5 weeks, I would get up at 5:30 a.m. and have one treatment. Later on that day, I would have another. It was the same process every morning, getting into position, lining up the lasers, and sitting for 45 minutes while those cancer cells were being killed. After 46 treatments of radiation, my cancer had still not been beaten. I would now have to face the hardest treatment ever, my bone marrow transplant. I was placed into a small room about the size of a classroom. This room contained an air ventilator to keep all the germs away. This room would be my home for about 6 weeks. After they closed the door, I wasn't allowed to leave the room for 3 days. Then I wasn't allowed to leave the hallway. There was no sunshine, no fresh air, and nothing to do. It was a nightmare that you could never dream of. All there was to do was play putt-putt golf, listen to music, and play Nintendo. Every once in a while, I would get to have a few visitors. This is the first time I had seen my family in 2 weeks. Once, I even had a special surprise, and a few of my close friends came by to visit and play games. During my bone marrow transplant, I got huge blisters in my mouth and had to do a routine mouthwash that my dad just had to get on tape. The medicine was extremely nasty. This is 2-year-old Justin Nolan, who was diagnosed with a brain tumor the same time as I. This sweet, innocent little boy goes to show you that cancer affects all ages, young and old. Three days before my transplant, I had full-body irradiation. This is the stage in my treatment that, as they say, literally kills you. This process wiped away the bad and also took some of the good. On bone marrow transplant day, or my second birthday as they called it, Happy birthday, dear Earlene, I was renamed Earlene. Since everything was wiped out of me, my transplant would put it all back in and make me like a newborn baby. This second birthday may look like fun, but it's not what it seems. Earlier, in April, I had a stem cell pheresis, which in layman's terms means they removed my blood from the main artery in my neck through a small tube. They separated my blood and took out all the bad cells. Here, on April 16th, the nurses put my own good blood back into me, all clean. This process took about 4 hours. Laying in the bed is not fun at all. During that time, I had migraine pains multiplied by 5, nausea, muscle pain, stomach sickness. Every hurt or ache you could imagine, I had it. This was the only time my family was able to visit, and this was as close as I could get to them. I had to kiss, hug, and wave through a glass window, not being able to touch, or see, or feel, or love. I miss my friends and my family.
Hi, my name's Hanna Keith, and back in October,
Unfortunately, Hannah was not able to finish telling you what she wanted to say because of her mouth hurting. What she'd like to say is that she appreciates everybody coming out and walking for cancer. Cancer's no fun, but because of the new medicines they have these days, Hannah's on the road to recovery. She'd like to say thank you and walk a mile for her. See everybody soon. Love you.
As a cancer survivor, the word hope to me means I'm going to have a chance the next day. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be able to live my life. And it's just, hope is just a feeling that you have, and it is your energy to wake up the next day, and it's your energy to keep going when things get bad. Cancer is no fun, and beating it is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. It's because of my friends, my family, good doctors, and people like you who work with the Relay for Life that I am a survivor. Relay for Life is about fighting cancer. It's about honoring those we've lost to this horrible disease. But most importantly, it's about sharing our hope. It's my hope that each one of you will continue your fight against cancer, that you will work your hardest and be your best. Be proud of who you are and what you do. You're not only saving lives, you're changing lives. So, I'll see you on the track.